സൗണ്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ അത് Oh, sorry. Can I just fix this?
Yep.
Wardrobe malfunctions can happen anywhere, anytime. And we all know that you can't rely on fashion tape. And one day I just asked myself, wouldn't it be so much easier if I could just glue myself into this? 4 years of R&D later, and now I can. I present to you the ultimate life hack, Clutch Glue. Clutch is a sweat-resistant but water-soluble clothes adhesive that is seriously strong and will not seep through your clothes.
This is a product that I needed here.
Yeah.
So I've been using the tape and it's actually been giving me a rash on my skin.
Yeah.
Does this do that?
It doesn't. So Clutch is hypoallergenic. It's made with no nasties, no fragrance.
I see so much potential in this and you, so I'll come in at 200,000 for 10%. I'm also happy to partner with another shark as well.
Who would you want to partner with?
I'd partner with Robert.
Just keep in mind, down that end, you're just a number.
He's absolutely right. With me, you're a number. A very big number that we're gonna make. He's 100% right. 400,000, 20%. Let's become a big number.
Davey and Rob, I would love to partner with you.
Oh, yeah! Oh my God.
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3.
Check. Check, check one. Check. Check, check one test. Check, check one test. Check. Check. Check one test. Check. Check. Check.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jasmine, as a social entrepreneur and also a business growth strategist. As a chairperson of the Entrepreneurship Forum, we have organized this masterclass series to uplift your knowledge gap and knowledge gaps and fill that with startup knowledge and ready for your career as an engineering entrepreneur. So we welcome everyone to the market. This is Naveen. interested, you can link with me at LinkedIn. So it's a great platform where we all can share our professional updates as well as get network for more opportunities. So when we talk about entrepreneurship, most of the people have kind of a very doubtful idea. Who is a businessman? Who is a entrepreneur? And what is a startup? So there are many ways that you can explain this, but I will give you the very clear idea how you can differentiate these two. Actually, if it's an entrepreneur, you should have a clear vision and the mission. Solve a problem with sustainable strategy and innovation to address that problem and provide solution. So it's a process of designing, launching, managing business with innovation and creativity. So the main difference is that you have innovation in your entrepreneurial venture. Startup, what is it? On the other hand, it is also similar to entrepreneurship, yet it is a rapid process. It has a rapid process, it's very agile and fast growing and scalable business. When you want to create some quick market expansion, think about the startup, right? The family business can get into a certain level, maybe 3 generations of time, like 3 decades of time. But if you have a viable business model like startup, you can even break even within 3 years, right? So that's the impact, that's the difference of a startup. Startup can be up to 7 years, but later on that you can establish it as an entrepreneurial venture, right? So now you think about whether you have what you are practicing right now, whether it's a startup, whether it's a yes. 5 to 7 years is the maximum way that you can call it as a startup. After that, you can establish it as an entrepreneurial venture, right? Startup means you do rapid testing, rapid prototypes, rapid expansions and scaling your business until it comes to a certain standardized venture, right? So that it has many changes, many versions, right? So why we encourage you to do a startup? Because it's very easy to start. When you have an idea, you have to see whether it's a viable model and you can apply startup knowledge and make a successful venture. So that's why we encourage all of you to start with the idea and take a challenge as a startup venture. So this is the table where you can position whatever you are practicing already. Maybe you are right now doing something, you're over, right? You have a registered company, right? You are doing something. Whether you are under the entrepreneurship category, you should have these kind of features in your venture. Inventions may basically it's a very new idea, what product, but innovation is something that you added some more features to whatever the existing thing, right? So invention, we identified innovation as whatever the value addition you now put into the existing product or service, so you can actually make it as an entrepreneurial venture. risk taking is there's a high risk taking. So what are the other things? Revenue generation models. I wanted to highlight this. So maybe whatever you are practicing right now, maybe having a one revenue model, right? Maybe you are selling a product and getting a revenue. Selling a product and from that you are getting a revenue. But service also, if you are doing a training program, you are charging a fee. So that is your revenue model. But as an entrepreneurship, you should have more revenue streams. Not only that. So we will discuss this when we move forward. So have a clarity on this area. Otherwise, even a small business at home base, you might think that you are an entrepreneur, but you have space to develop your business model that we are discussing today. And if you have applied the business model, you can develop your entrepreneurial venture. So that's why we are doing it today. So core values. So what is the difference between the business, startup or entrepreneurial venture? It's the creativity, innovation, value addition, sustainability, rapid growth and scalability. So this should be a repetitive model where you can apply these features, right, core values, to a existing business model. So that is how you differentiate this with other businesses. Yeah, scalability means if you have, let's say now I have a product in Sri Lanka. If you are only selling it within Sri Lanka, the national wide, it's not kind of a thing. So you need to scale it to the next level. Maybe the Middle East countries, export industry, export market, or let's say for example, but for example, let's say that even you don't want to, you want to have your own place to sell the products. Maybe you can have some other people to buy your products and sell at their places, right? And also, there's another very popular example I can say, the McDonald's, Pizza Hut, the fast food chain. So they have a franchise model. So they give the franchise model to Sri Lanka and other countries where they can. And very recently when the McDonald's, now no longer we have McDonald's in Sri Lanka. They have some agreements for the kind of thing. If there's nothing like that, they can cancel the business. So that is why scalability is important. You can't be in a one spot. Yeah, you have to scale into the even other regions, countries, or maybe in an online platform, right? Yeah. Dropshipping is now available, so you can use that some kind of platform where you can reach your customer wherever in the world. Right? So that's kind of a potential that you have when you are starting something called entrepreneurship. So then you have a mind. Okay, I have a good business idea, right? But I wanted to start it right now. So why we grow with this investment? Why? And I have met so many of the people who wants to become entrepreneurs. The main challenge whenever they join is they say, I have a marvelous idea and I wanted to start something, but I don't have capital. And some may have tell that some may have told already that they have idea and the investment, but they don't know how to do it. Right? There's two gaps. Maybe you don't have the the knowledge. So today we will address those issues, right? Yeah. Before you invest for the startup, first thing you should invest for yourself, your time, your knowledge, right? Even if you can't invest 2.5 hours of this master class to learn business model canvas, that means that you are not going to take to the next level, right? Yeah, your time is really important. For me personally, I have attended to many of the workshops, internationally, locally, even right now. You should have that entrepreneurial mindset, the growth mindset, because when you think that, yeah, I am an engineer, or maybe I am a professional, I have the experience, so I can do it. That's the main reasons that you are not getting to the standard level of what we are expecting. Sometimes your proposal will be rejected from the banks, financial institutions. Because of that, you have not convinced them that you are actually making a commitment to your startup or a business proposal. You should understand the real case, right? Real case. Because you have to identify the pain points of the customer and what are the problems that you are going to address and what is the solution that you are going to propose. So that is very much important. And I must say, when innovation comes, there are no other competitors in the market, right? Let's say that I want to introduce a new water, use the normal mineral water, right? So if I wanted to introduce something more eco-friendly, something very healthy, water, so there are already established service providers and also manufacturers, right? So they have the alarms. When you introduce something to the market, they take, buy it, check it, and they try to copy that. So what usually happens? Because you are starting something with your time, research, effort, and all, and you invest something, maybe the small amount of, you have the capital. So yet these large scale manufacturers have a lot of money. They will reinvest a lot of things back to their innovation. So they may copy your product, right? So what you should do, you should take rapid action before they copy, before they take. Once you have to take the things, you have to get the rapid actions according to a business model canvas and take it to the next level. Unless you will fail. So most of the people, that's why most of the startup phase, they can't stay in the same page. They have to move on. They have to take rapid action. They have to capture the market share and stay competitive. Even it is a very common thing, right? Even the product life cycle, you have seen the day-to-day advertisement in the TV commercials. Yeah, the same product may be coming up with the new formulas. When you take your mobile phone, new versions, there are more upgrades, right? And features, right? So otherwise they can't stay in the market. There's a market saturation point. So people are satisfied with that point and then they are declining the product interest. So that's why we have to identify the potential development and invest quite research time to do the innovations to your product or service and retaining the market. And so that, what do you need? To do rapid expansion, do more research, what do you need? What do you need? You need capital. As a founder, you should invest yourself with the knowledge and time. At the same time, if you do not know not aware of the technology, you have to hire people who is capable to solve that problem. to address the issues, right? So therefore, you should hire people to your venture. For that, you need capital, you need investment. That's why startups with the great ideas, with the great solutions, they should pitch for the investors and get the capital to get to the next level. And also, once you have the products or services accepted by the market, you have to see the possibility of expansion your business to the next level, scaling effect. So that you have to rapidly do the innovation and take the next level to scale the startup. To scale the startup, what you need is strength of financial strength. To get the financial strength, you need to find investors, right? Or maybe some partnerships, collaborations. We will talk with you later about how we can get some more people to support you, right? Or maybe a co-founder who are having the same interest in the product or service or the problem you are going to solve. So maybe they will support you as a co-founder, partnership, and also invest for your business. So that is more important, right? So unlike the business owners, so startup founder is very special character. He should have these public speaking skills, because none other than the person who are working for your startup, you are the right persons to pitch the idea, pitch the business to your investors. Maybe later, once you have established your startup as an entrepreneurial venture, you may hire marketing and sales team who can actually take your business value to exhibitions, to some other business forums, right? So that is the next level. But at the very beginning, as a founder, you should have the power of pitching, that ability to talk and explain and share the value of your startup, why investors should invest for your startup, what is the uniqueness, what is the value addition. Yeah, that means how your personality, everything, right? Not yeah, that because that you are a founder, right? You can't you can't just ignore all the other kind of public relations. You should create networks. You should make effort to meet new people, and also maintain your personal profile, right? Your personality. You should talk to others, right? Have some partnership who is very useful in the future. Maybe get some kind of knowledge share. Always update yourself. Some of the opportunities come, right? And if you are not focusing on your personality and whatever you hold, maybe you are not much accepted by the investors. It's like a different community startup. There are in other countries, they are having startup communities. Even in Sri Lanka, we have startup communities. People with the like mindset. So when you have the like mindset, so it's easy to solve the problem. I can remember when I developed my venture, Real Life, I was there for about 8 months at a co-working space. Co-working space is a place where all the entrepreneurs share the services and the space for their startup work. Because we don't want to buy a new place, hire a new place, and do our research and whatever the development. You can hire only a table or a chair, and you can just do your research for your startup. So I was there in 2019, and then I usually get a lot of kind of issues when I'm developing my. There's a upstairs like a 2-story or 3-story. So then when I get down from the staircase, all my problems are solved because of the power of network. Because when I talk to people having a coffee, and I can find more solutions. It is a technical solution. There are some kind of models, monthly, Colombo. So there are a lot of other than like Hatchworks, liquid spaces, home tree co-working space. There are a lot of things. So when you get into that kind of a community, it's very easy to work with. So, because if you are isolated, having a kind of a place to develop your knowledge sharing, and then only you can grow up, have that growth mindset. So I'm saying, so then there are a lot of opportunities comes because of their networks. Feedback. So then you have time at least to talk in a 1 minute, 2 minutes time, how you pitch. Maybe let's say in the startup community you have a networking session, right? In the networking session you may have the opportunity to meet someone, a billionaire who can invest for a startup. He's an angel investor. So 1 or 2 minutes of time, you have opportunity to talk to that person. So that's also pitching, right? That is also pitching. So you talk to that person and ask for appointment, giving your business card, and you can say, I am doing this startup, and if you give me a kind of a meeting, I can explain how it works. So likewise, you can pitch even it's a very limited time, and you have to practice it. You have to practice it. So that's the importance of practicing. So we have a session at the end of the master class. I think it's a 5th master class. Senela Jaisuri will be conducting the elevator pitch. She will do the all the essentials for the pitch. Yeah. I think 28th of March you have the pitching elevator pitch master class with Senela. Right? So that is why you should learn how to pitch. So, how you pitch? Pitching is not like you are talking about hi, how are you, and how you are working with, and what is your problem. Those are the things. Because the people having a lot of money, they are very busy. They don't have time. So you should understand that opportunity, and you have to get ready with your pitch to the right investor with a very limited time you have. Maybe a 1 minute, 2 minutes, or maybe 3 minutes, right? So you have to give the clarity what you are going to solve, who are the target audience, right? And also the confidence that you build. Okay, look at you and see that whether actually you are going to solve this problem. Do you carry this strength? Do you have that power to do that? They will think. That's why you should have the personal branding, personal profile, and then only they will have the belief that you can do something for the startup. Right? Otherwise, they do not invest for the products or the service. They invest for the founder. They invest for the founder, right? Ultimately, if something fails, will the product or service come to repay that investor? No. The person who you have the agreements, the founder should be liable to that business agreement. So that's why you have a strong role model. You should be a strong role model, and as well as build your trust, build your personal growth, as well as your confidence as a founder. Those are the things that take are in later. So that's why this is just a roadmap how to successfully pitch your ideas to the investor, right? also, when you heard about this pitch, it may be for the investor. It may be for a customer. Let's say that I have now products already developed, minimal viable products. I'm going to sell it to the customer. I'm going to explain about this. So that is also a pitch. That's also a pitch. And if I wanted to pitch that to the marketing channels, Facebook, YouTube, that is also a pitch, right? So pitch is different. Pitch is different. You have to identify whom you are going to address, whether it's a customer, whether it's an investor, or whether you are sharing it to the general public as awareness. Yes, I will share that later, right? You should be covering, right? I will share some example as well here, right? This is what is the problem and the solution. Problem validation, whether this problem should be there. So, because sometimes if there's a temporary situation, right, you are going to solve, it is not a repetitive model, right? If it is not a repetitive model, you can't generate revenue. If it is a startup or an entrepreneurial venture, you should have a repetitive model. So that's why you have to find out whether the problem is a validate problem, whether you can provide the solutions continuously. And value proposition, that is the promise that you are going to give to the customer. If you buy this is the benefit. So value proposition, proof of concept, whether this is a market viable product. That's why you need to identify why this product is useful in the market. So that you have to find out with the business. So after these questions, to get ready with the pitch, you have to identify solution, market opportunity, and the business model. Call to action means then after you ask for money. You ask for money for ask for money from investors. If the customer, you ask for fine, right? Okay, 3 for 100, one for 50, right? So likewise, that is the call for action. So ready with the pitch, you should thoroughly understand the business model canvas. Otherwise, you can't successfully pitch, because at the maybe you are at the in competition. So the competition, there's a panel. They will ask questions. If you are not aware about your business model, you can't answer those questions. And even if you have a one-to-one investor connection and discussion at the business forum, there also they will ask you a question. So then if you have failed to address the questions, that means you are not getting performance. So that's why you should build the confidence with knowledge, thorough understanding about what you are going to solve and what is the structure. That's why you should run a pilot project. You should run a pilot project and see whether it's a environment viable, business environment viable. Because most of the time, you don't want it to stay with the same idea, right? You have to believe the process. You have to believe the process, not the idea. Because you have the idea, but when you do it to the canvas, business model canvas, you find is the idea is not repetitive, not a viable idea. So what you do? You have to change the idea and find the real problem, identify the real problem, and then find a solution. So that process is very much tested and trial tested. So that you need to believe, not the idea. Because even if most of the founders fail because of they stay on the same idea. They don't have any flexibility. You should have the flexibility to learn, unlearn, relearn. That's kind of a very important thing. learn, unlearn, relearn. So when I say today this is a water bottle, okay, I say forget it. Now this is not a water bottle, right? So I give you a name. This is the drinkable, portable container. So you have to forget about the water bottle. It's drinkable, portable container, right? I can remember now because of the problems. The water bottle is a plastic thing. It's a single-use plastic, so it's a huge problem for the environment. So now they have have the innovation with some water balls. I just put into the mouth, it will dissolve, right? So there's some more innovations now. Yeah, just like the bubble, it will be in the hand, right? So there are more innovations. So the drinking dispensers there, right? So like different ways. Then they have some may have paper cups. You don't want to carry any water bottles anywhere. Everywhere there's drinking water available. So there are a lot of other options, right? Likewise, I'm telling you, you should have that mindset to learn, unlearn, and relearn, right? So if I'm saying this is a new thing, so you have that not a conventional education system. If you are thinking as an entrepreneur, startup founder, you should explore new way of learning, right? New things of the world. Think differently. Then only you can come to the level of making something very innovative to the world. Disruptive innovation. Something that you already existing, so you have to disrupt it and introduce something new. So before that, I will give you a kind of an example, right? This lady is pitching in front of the world famous pitching competition. She got some funds to start her. At this point, she had only minimal viable product, which is minimal viable product is whatever you can sell to the customer as an accepted product, right? So she had that minimal viable product. With that, she explained her product to the investors. She got successfully, I think, $400,000 for her next scaling the startup to the next level. So we will see this.
Oh, sorry. Can I just fix this?
Yep.
Wardrobe malfunctions can happen anywhere, anytime. And we all know that you can't rely on fashion tape. And one day I just asked myself, wouldn't it be so much easier if I could just glue myself into this?
Yep.
4 years of R&D later, wardrobe malfunctions can happen
I present to
anywhere,
you the ultimate
anytime.
life hack.
And we
Clutch
all
glue.
know that
Clutch
you can't rely on
is a
fashion
sweat
tape.
resistant
And
but
one day I
water
just asked
soluble
myself,
clothes adhesive that is seriously strong and will not seep through your clothes.
This is a product that I needed here.
Yeah.
So I've been using the tape and it's actually been giving me a rash on my skin.
Yeah.
Does this do that?
It doesn't. So Clutch is hypoallergenic. It's made with no nasties.
This
Wouldn't it be so much Oh, sorry. Can I just fix this?
Yep.
Wardrobe malfunctions can happen anywhere, anytime. And we all know that you can't rely on fashion tape. And one day I just asked myself, wouldn't it be so much easier if I could just glue myself into this? 4 years of R&D later, and now I can. I present to you the ultimate life hack, Clutch Glue. Clutch is a sweat-resistant but water-soluble clothes adhesive that is seriously strong and will not seep through your clothes.
This is a product that I needed here.
Yeah.
So I've been using the tape and it's actually been giving me a rash on my skin.
Yeah.
Does this do that?
It doesn't. So Clutch is hypoallergenic. It's made with no nasties, no fragrance.
I see so much potential in this and you, so I'll come in at 200,000 for 10%. I'm also happy to partner with another shark as well.
Who would you want to partner with?
I'd partner with Robert.
Just keep in mind, down that end, you're just a number.
He's absolutely right. With me, you're a number, a very big number that we're gonna make. He's 100% right. 400,000, 20%. Let's become a big number.
Davey and Rob, I would love to partner with you.
Oh, yeah! Oh my God!
She's selling her shares of the startup, 20% equity for 400 rupees. So you are going to, it's a kind of a business agreement, right? Business agreement. No, it's like they are going to build up a new kind of a venture with that kind of a, where they're scaling the business. The company may be valued to like 10 million kind of US dollars. So then from there, like 20, I'm just giving an example, right? 20%. That value given to investor, because they are investing today for tomorrow's promise. They are investing for today about 400,000. Maybe a 5 years time they have that valuation, so that's a return on investment, right? So that's the power of that pitching, right? Very small, that less than 3 minutes, no? They have earned about 400,000. That's why you see the market share around the world, right? So market share. What is the target audience? The ladies who are wearing kind of fashionable wear with that kind of requirement. That's the target audience. Well, it's a gel. It's a gel, water soluble gel. It's a blue gel. So, do you want to explain a little bit about that? What is her business model? Yeah. So her product is a water soluble, eco-friendly glue, right? So for having a taping that was like target audience is women, right? Yeah. So that's why that is the promise she is giving. That is the value creation, value proposition that she is going to promise the customer. There is no allergy reaction. It's safe to use for skin when water soluble, right? Sustainable product. And she has that kind of confidence that this product will not give some side effects. That's why she does this do that. The one of the panelists asked that. She got some rashes with using this. Similar products are available in the market, but they are having some side effects. So she gives that confidence that her product will not provide those kind of issues, side effects. So that's the power of, that's the value creation. That's why you need to understand this business model canvas. How you pitch with the perfectly align all the environment that you are going to address, right? So target audience, value propositions, channels, right? And maybe your revenue stream, right? So we move to the business model canvas. It's a system, right? It's kind of a system that you can explicit your entire business idea to somebody, right? To someone you want to convince the business. This is a one A4 sheet rather than the 40 pages of business plan, because investors, they don't have time to go through but if they have the interest, they will go through it. But before that, at the time of pitching, at the very initial discussions, business model canvas is the main thing that you want to share with your customer, share with your co-founder, to see there's a potential of growing this startup. So agile. Agile is very quickly you can set up this, right? Less than maybe if you are using some AI tools, you can use it in 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. But make sure you can get the outcomes with the AI. Make sure you have the collective intelligence to that, right? Because as a human being, you have the some of the knowledge, right? AI can also generate, yet there are some things you need to understand. Maybe with the environment concerns, right? Some technical concerns. So therefore, whenever you get the AI support, always remind that go through it, that review it, and add your inputs, right? Yeah. So you should be mindful. AI is a good solution. At the same time, your human thinking can be more powerful tool where you can actually refine the whatever the AI generated facts and into the model. So always use the collective intelligence. So when we just say that before 20 years of time, most of the businesses they started, okay, I have a land, you can invest something. There are two friends, right? I have a land. Shall I share this story? I recommend you to go and watch some of the movies. The Founder is a very good movie, right? It's about McDonald's. There were two brothers who innovated McDonald's. It's a very big brand. Huh? So it's on YouTube. You can watch it, right? So they initially after the Industrial Revolution, there are a lot of people working from the morning to the evening. They have very limited time, right? I'm talking about United States, right? So after the World War and there are Industrial Revolution, so people are working almost every day and they don't have much time to cook, right? So what they are having for the lunch is a burger. It's a very sandwich with some of the patty and then having some bread, right? Some salads. So that is the main requirement in that time. Then some of the people they discuss, okay, we have a land, we have some bakery, and then we prepare something and we give this. There are huge queues, because they are having a one time, like said 1 hour for a break, maybe less than 1 hour. I have no idea, but less than 1 hour to have their meals for the lunch. For that time, they have to entirely stay on the queue to buy a burger and eat it, right? So these two brothers who founded the McDonald's, they found this is a problem. The problem is time. They don't have. So if we can address this problem, we can think about good food. So what they did, it's a fast food restaurant, fast food boutique. The very beginning, it's a fast food boutique. So they had that yellow color M for McDonald's. It's kind of a brand in their mind. What they did, they had that yellow color and they brand, and they have a boutique, and they provide very rapid process to provide the meals to their clients, customers who are in the queue. So other bakeries, whatever the restaurants, there are huge queues, but people are getting to McDonald's, easily grab the sandwich and have it, right? So there's one person who was seeing that this is the market opportunity. See the difference. What has happened? What had happened was these two brothers found the way to provide the service very quickly. How? They if you watch the movie, you can see that these two brothers in one red ball court, the pitch, they are practicing how quickly we can make the sandwich, right? How quickly we can make the sandwich. It's a very no time you can get the fries, you can get the salads, you can get the patty, and you can burn the sandwich and give it to the wrap and give it to the customer. So they have practiced this very quickly. That is their innovation. Otherwise, it's a very simple patty, it's a burger, right? It's a very simple burger. Anyone can copy it. But their innovation is there, the way that they are providing the service, right? Internal, that is their value. So that's why they got some patents, they got the IP rights for that, and then they have that franchise model everywhere in the world. They scale up the business. So that is why it is a fast food chain. McDonald's is kind of a good venture. So when you see the entire story, watch the movie and understand what are the drawbacks, right? The two brothers also get some problems because of the IP rights, because the person who was supporting them finally get the right, and these two brothers lost their identity. Yeah. So that's why when you have identified the pain points that customers having, so you can address that. Then you can sell the product easily. So that's why the story behind this, right? That's why you need to identify the real requirement that you are making, why you are making it. That is why business model canvas help you to identify these. So a strategic alignment, right? So this is very important. You are a person who are starting this as a founder. When you are getting another co-founder, maybe two co-founders on board to your venture, you have to transfer that knowledge to that person, right? Talking to many hours, sometimes you may not success enough to convince that person what you are really wanted to do, right, with your startup. Having a business model canvas is a very systematic and very kind of explicit method where you can share that knowledge with the co-founder, with the other party. So when you have the business model canvas, you can test it. You can just argue. You can simulate it. And then you can find whether this is viable business idea or whether you wanted to change it. So that is risk mitigation. So you don't want to buy a land, make a construction there, and having your factories, whatever the things, or if you are manufacturing, you don't want to do that. Before that, you can do the mindful observation, simulation, think whether this is working for me. That's why you have the legal concerns, you have the agreements. Without agreements, do not share anything, right? Without agreements, you have the legal thing, right? So this is the 9-block BMC. It's a very powerful way. First one is the customer segment. I must ask you, what is after you decide of the problem, when you think about your product or a service, the first thing you need to identify is your customer. Who is going to buy this? Who is going to get benefit from this? Who is the person who will pay for me for this product or a service? The customer segment is the first priority you should understand. Customer segment. And then the promise you are going to give to the customer. Value proposition, right? The promise that you are going to give for your customer. Channels. How you are going to reach your customer? Through online, maybe selling on the malls, maybe in the supermarket, maybe with the franchise. How you are going to meet your customer? Customer relationships. how you are going to engage with your customer, how you are going to give them your business, the kind of idea about what you are doing, how you generate that relationship with the customer, how you make your loyalty base. So this is customer relationship. Online platform, how do you usually create customer engagement, customer relationship? How do you get customer feedback? When they ask for some questions or maybe given some kind of feedback, you can engage with them, right? So that's the customer relationship you can create. And these are, your left side is about your market. This is about the market environment. When this is come, this is your inside, the back end. This is the front end. This is your back end. Right? So when we start with key activities, as a startup, when you have a product, let's say I have eco-friendly pen. I will take an example of one of my product, Life Pen. Life Pen is manufacturing through recycled paper, right? Manufacturing through recycled paper to eliminate the single-use plastic, and there's also kind of offset strategy for sustainability. We put some plantable seeds to the paper pen, so you can plant the pen after use, right? So that's kind of a product you have in your mind to develop. So what are the key activities? It's a manufacturing process, right? You have to find the raw materials, right, from the suppliers. You should have people to, whether it's a handmade or machine made, you need the machinery, right? You need to find the people to work, manufacture the pens. What are the other activities? You should have the distribution process. You should put into the, whether it's a pen in a pack or a single pack, or maybe multiple pens in a one pack, right? The way you are, the way you are arranging it for customer to buy, right? Whether it's a single pen or whether it's a pack of pen. How? Maybe different colors, right? Different colors. Not only blue or black, it may be multiple colors, right? Or maybe some more value addition, right? Some value addition like adding different seeds, right? For your garden, right? So likewise, what are that? So then you have to buy the seeds also, key activities, and you have to test it, whether the pens are plantable. You have to do the test batch wise. Batch wise, you have to test. What are the other activities? So you have to do the quality of the pen, whether the print is aligned, whether the pen is writable, right? So you should test everything. The quality assurance should be there. So these are the key activities. What are the key resources? To manufacture the pen, you should have the machinery. If it is a handmade, you should have the people or community working for that. Workforce. Right? What are the other resources? You may have the website or maybe the marketing kind of a Facebook page. That's also resources, right? So if you don't have that lead generated, you don't have that target audience in your pool, that means you need to find another partner or maybe hand over to some other channel, maybe a Daras, maybe Kapooker, maybe kind of another online platform to sell your product. If you do not have your own, right? If you don't have your own target audience inbuilt in your resource as a Facebook page or whatever, you should hire some partnership. Now you have some agreements, right? So let's say that I have partnership with the corporate sector. For every year, they have some corporate events, sustainable events. So I have a partnership with the corporates. So we provide the eco-friendly paints, live paints for their events, maybe conferences, right? Station, we will provide it. So like a partnership, maybe events, event companies, corporate sector, maybe other NGOs, right? Or maybe the government sector, right? So we can create key partners. The cost structure. So what are the costs involved in manufacturing your product? Raw material, 1 kilo of off-cut waste paper as a raw material, maybe 100 rupees. So then, likewise, how many you need, right? So you need to understand your cost structure, right? Your waste paper, glue, ballpoint pen tubes, right? And then seeds, wages for your community or who are people who are working manufacturing pens. Those are the cost structure. And the utility bills, electricity, right? Water, the recycling plant, and that if there's a recycling plant, the machinery cost, right? So maintenance cost, right? All are considered in the cost structure, right? And the revenue stream, we come last to the revenue stream. So whatever you have considered building your product or a brand, this is what you are doing, revenue stream. So you sell some pen to customer, and how much? Let's say 100 rupees, one pen is 100 rupees. It is far more the marginal value of the market standard. Maybe you get 30 rupees, right? A normal ballpoint pen. But a live pen is 100 rupees. Who will pay for more? The people who promise with the value propositions, they understand this value proposition, will pay you, right? Proposition, eco-friendliness. So value proposition is your sustainable promise, right? It's eco-friendly, biodegradable, and also contribute to the planet. So that's why revenue stream we need to do. It is far more from the market value. We have to provide the value proposition, very powerful value proposition. The revenue stream is selling the pens, corporate partnerships, maybe the events. They are not just buying a one pen. They are buying some bulk pen, maybe 1,000 pens, maybe 500 pens. It's like how you are generating the revenue. Can you remember that I told you that before? As a startup or an entrepreneurial venture, there must be multiple revenue streams. Multiple revenue streams, right? Not only selling a one product. So how you can get more revenue? Any suggestions? You can share the knowledge of making pens. It's a community-based product, community-driven. You can do for some workshops. That's one thing. But make sure you have kind of licensing, IP rights. Otherwise, they will copy that. You can share because let's say someone in Monaragala wants to have a community project. They wanted to prepare some kind of eco-friendly product like live pen. So they will ask for us to come and do the training for them. So we will do the training for some of the fees, right? So that's the revenue generation, right? But that brand and also the value creation, the identity, as long as we have the IP rights, we have that kind of protection, there's no problem. If you don't have the problem, if you don't have that protection, you can even give licensing for them if you are willing. And also sometimes, yeah. And there's another concept called white labeling. There's in other countries they have some limitations. They do not provide kind of opportunity for people to do their business over their country. So they ask us to provide as a supplier, and they have their own brand. Maybe they ask whether can you provide the white label to us. So we brand for them. So we are providing white labeling products. So then we also charge. That is another revenue stream, right? Yeah, IP rights are available for Sri Lanka, but you can select the target country. So if you are willing to have your products there, you have to apply separately for each country. Let's say Australia, New Zealand, or Canada, or Dubai. If you wanted to have your product there protected, so then you can't take that if there has barriers. Yeah, if they have the similar product with the IP rights, so there has a product, there's a barriers. Yeah, there are some barriers, so you can't have that. Intellectual property. I will talk about that. That's a very important point. I will talk about that. So this is clear, right? There's a 9 blocks. Customer segment, these are value proposition, channels, customer relation, these are your front end. That's what you put in the marketing. When you turn on your TV, right? Turn on your TV, see the advertisement. These days, there's a popular cricketer having that kind of a mobile phone and putting into the out of the window, and then he's giving the promise that it will not damage the display, right? So that's a promise, value proposition. So I had a similar problem with me. I always have my display damage on more phones, right? Very recently also I had to change my phone. So that is the promise. So then I got, this is my product that I really want. That's my pain point, right? So that is the advertisement in the TV, providing the promise for the customer. You have a value proposition. So if you can easily elaborate this, right? Understand this when you look at some of the advertisements in the TV, right? What is the promise they are giving? So always the advertisements, they do the customer segment, right? Professionals who are having busy lifestyle always have kind of mistakes, no? You have to replace the display. Sometimes you have this damage. So, value proposition, channels, TV, radio, and social media, all these are channels. Customer relationship. So, how you are getting, they may have royalty programs. When you see that supermarkets, how they retain their customers with the loyalty cards, right? They are giving some points, right? Nexus cards. In the Keel supermarket, they have Nexus cards. Likewise, they keep the customer retained with their marketing environment, because they want to make sure they are getting substantial amount of revenue every month, every year, right? That's their growth. That is their revenue stream. So this is backside of the startup, backside of the business. So we will do some exercise also. Before that, so I can get some support because I'm not over here. Or maybe I don't know. will share some of the, this is kind of a slide I have shared, but there's an Excel sheet. I will share that in the email also, so you can get it. Then you can type in the Google business model canvas. You can get the business model canvas, and you make sure share it to download it to your drive, Google Drive, and rename it and use it. Right? So this there you can even write, right? So who are the key partners, key activities? Well, these are internal. These are external. Right? So usually you can utilize this Excel sheet. So I will share this Excel sheet with you. You can do it. Even one A4 sheet is enough, right? To map your key partners, your partners, suppliers. This is for Canvas, Google, yeah. No, Google, when you can get the drive, the download into the drive. Even if it's not working, I will share the thing in the email, right? So I will give you some example. If you have the laptop, you can open up this and you can do the exercise. You can just drop something in the A4 sheet like this, and just you can find out improvements. I will support with you to overcome this. If you have any problems, you do it right now. We have certificate also. If you can do this, yeah. I will give you the idea. Before that, shall we do one example? Before doing an exercise, shall we do one example? Right? So you might have a problem that sometimes is it only a high technical, engineering driven solutions only considered as a startup? No. Yeah. I'll share this story because not only engineering, we have engineering students, practitioners, as well as other founders, right? Other students. So no need to be in the very technical jargon, right? Because there are some keywords, we have to learn some keywords, but doesn't need to have always a technical solution. So this is a very kind of a famous startup in Australia, the Marshmallow Co. Right? It's very powerful that how they have shared their story. There's a one founder who has the idea to provide some gourmet marshmallows. Gourmet marshmallows. So when it comes to marshmallows, do you think that we can sell it around the world? Can you sell marshmallow to the world? He has that mindset as entrepreneur. I can sell marshmallows to the world. From Australia, this founder is selling around the world. Do you know who is their best customers? Happy customers? Some of the world famous wrestling stars like John Cena and some of the superstars, Hollywood superstars are their customers. So how they have created that kind of a brand, how they have created, let's try out. Before that, I will go to this Marshmallow Co. website. It's simple, the sweet marshmallow. So this is, they have different sweets with the cheesecake, raspberry cheesecake, some weird things that they do with some vinegar also, some marshmallows, some different tests and they do, right? So that is the innovation. Sometimes some of them are working, some of them are not working, yet they are having some fun. And so they are shipping around the world. Even Sri Lanka, they are having some customers. So these are some of the products we have. So it's a handmade, totally handmade, batch-wise handmade production. So first they have their kind of their own premises. Now they have a large factory, and how they have scaled up, everything is their social media. You know what? People are live more than 100,000 for a live streaming, right? Watching how they are making marshmallows. They have customer interaction, customer relationship, live chat, right? They're having more than 1 million followers in their social medias. Each platform, TikTok, YouTube, right? Facebook, everywhere. So they have a lot of revenue streams. I think rather they sell marshmallows to the world, they earn from their social media. They earn from their social media. So that's the power of the business model. So the sweet maker can become an entrepreneur, can become a startup founder. If they have a powerful business model, So let's go for the business. So if you are willing to follow this, you can follow with the Marshmallows Co. YouTube and see how amazing they are doing their marketing, how amazing their acquisition their clients, new clients around the world, right? So these are some of the market strategies that they do, right? So what is their promise? They have gourmet flavors, very healthy flavors, right? And handmade. Customizable. If it is a wedding, if it is a event, what you want with some of the branding, shapes, marketing, whatever kind of a requirement you have, they do the customization, right? And monetize beyond the product sales. As I told you, they are having the different revenue streams, right? Not only selling a marshmallows to the customer, they are doing some events. They are going for some corporate gift packs with marshmallows, right? Some weddings, they are offering some marshmallows as a treat. And they are also monetizing with their social media. So there are a lot of revenue streams. Scale globally with a unique branding and storytelling. That's a nice storytelling. You should follow their social media and see how creatively, how attractively they are branding their products. They are doing marketing for their products, right? So you have to learn something from them. Also, they have one factory yet, that is in Australia. From the Australia, there are no branches. They are sending it a kind of platforms to other countries very easily. Within there is a shipping time, so they give the promise. Yeah, freight. Yeah. So the 9-segment business model, the Marshmallows Co. I get the key partners. I get the example, and I will share the key partners. Their suppliers are the key partners, right? Without the supplier for the raw material, gourmet ingredients, which is what is made from whey protein, that's egg white, and the sugar, maybe a healthy kind of sugar, right? And some flavors, purees, raspberry puree, mango. There are different chocolate, cocoa. There are different ingredients, different flavors. Right? Logistic partners for delivery, packaging providers, influencers for marketing. And that's a kind of one of the important things. Right? Influencers for marketing. As I told you, John Cena, one of the wrestling star, was a kind of a client for him. So they are some of the influencers for marketing, right? Because of John Cena is having this kind of a healthy snack, healthy sweet, people are willing to buy, right? Some of the superstars, they're having a lot of kind of singers, creative entrepreneurs, and some more stars in Hollywood buying their products and sharing the story in Facebook and social media. So that kind of influencers for marketing are their key partners, right? Key activities, product manufacturing, handmade marshmallows. They are every day they are manufacturing. The live is there, live broadcasting is set, and then they do the. It is very satisfying how they cut the marshmallows and push it and share to the customer, and the customers put their orders online, right? That's kind of an influence that they make through their activities. No, marshmallows, right? So even the single product, if you have, you can have multiple revenue streams. That's the power of business model. You have to think beyond that, right? Single product, multiple revenue streams. Even you can diversify the products later. I will talk about that in coming time, right? Key resources. Key activities. Product manufacturing, marketing, e-commerce management, order fulfillment, right? Order fulfillment, because they have to make sure that every order around the world should be packed at dispatch to the delivery, and also make sure whether the client received that product or not. That is kind of a responsibility and the key activities for a startup or organization. So key resources. There are receipts. The way they manufacture, the process, the same quality. That is their resources. Production facility, website, customer support team. Those are their resources. Value proposition. Unique, high quality handmade marshmallows. Dietary option. Dairy free. Some vegan, so they don't like egg white. So there should be some kind of a substitution, right? And gluten free, creative gift bundles. Those are the value proposition. What they promise to their customer. This is why people buy from other countries. If you are not going to buy it from the supermarket, you are ordering through online Marshmallows for Australia to buy your sweets for your wedding or your event, your birthday, right? So that is the value proposition, your promise to the customer. Customer relationships, how you engage with the customer. Personalized customer service, seasonal promotion, customer feedback, collection. So as I told you, mostly every day they have live Facebook or YouTube, they are on live. So they talk to customers, they are appreciating the customers, and they are sharing the customer experience, how they have gone through their products. So it's a customer engagement and customer relationship. Channels, they have an online store through the website, social media, partnership with the retailers. Some of the malls, some of the restaurants, they have some partnerships, right? So they sell their products in some agreements, maybe kind of yearly annual agreements, maybe partly they have agreements and they share their you can buy online. That's a shipping cost. So customer segments, this is more important. Individual consumers, as you, Jazz, you want to taste the marshmallow from Australia, you can put an order online, right? So you are an individual consumer. Right? Businesses, corporate gifts. If the company that as our company, real life, I wanted to give some gift to people, I will order bulk, right? Maybe 100 gift packs. Businesses, right? Cost structure, ingredient sourcing. You have to buy some raw material. Manufacturing, there's a manufacturing cost. Utility bills, machinery bill, and the way the workers' compensation. So those are the manufacturing costs. Marketing, they do massive marketing through the social media, right? So the marketing is one of the shipping. So how they send across the countries through shipping. So there's a shipping cost involved. That is cost structure. Revenue stream, different direct online sales, corporate orders, seasonal product bundles, social media promotion. So through the social media promotions, they have the passive income also through monetization, social media, because they have a large amount of target audience, more than 1 million. So rather they earn from the marshmallows, direct sales, they earn from their social media. Right? So that is the power of startups and the business model. So this is a 9-segment business model for Marshmallow Score. So this is a simple example. So do you understand? Is there any questions? This is a standard. This is standard one. But I will tell you that. There's a extended version. So there's an extended version. Before that, we will go for a kind of quick 15-minute activity. So you can have your laptop or you can have your A4 sheet ready and take the startup idea, what you have right now. Maybe either you have a product or maybe you have a service, right? And do it for the 9 segments, 9 block BMC. And if you do it online, yeah, if you make it online, make sure you send it to this email address, eeb2018isl@gmail.com, so we can ensure that you have participated live and you can go through the knowledge base, understand the concept. Yeah, so you have done this, and so we can provide the certificates of participation for the masterclass business model canvas. You will receive it very soon. So whatever your business idea, let's say a product or a service, right? To take that and put into the 9 blocks. This key partnership. Can you draw this, please? better if you can do it in a piece of paper or pen rather you type it very difficultly. So rather, yeah. If you have any questions so far, please feel free to ask it, and also list down the questions or doubtful areas you have. You can share it to our Gmail. I have shared already. eeb2018isl@gmail.com. So online participants, you can do the activity as well. So whatever the business idea, whatever the EEB 2018, isl@gmail.com. So you can take about 10 minutes. Key partnership. What are the partnerships that you want to make? Right? Key activities. What are the activities you are going to perform? Key resources. What kind of resources you should have to start your startup? What are the costs involved? List down in the cost structure. What are the revenue stream? How you are going to get benefit from the financial outcome, right? How you are going to earn money. List down here. What are the revenue streams? Value proposition. What is the promise you are going to give to the customer? Customer segment. So this is the first thing that you are going to start. Who are your customers? Who are going to buy your products? It can be a niche market. It can be a very niche market, right? Niche market means a very identical, specific, is maybe Gen Zs, right? The Gen Zs population for Sri Lanka, about 5.2 million, right? So likewise, if you are targeting some product or service for a specific audience, so you have to list down who are your customers, customer segment, maybe elderly population, the age, demographics, whatever. You have to identify the customer segment very clearly, because your investor is very enthusiastic to hear these details. The channels, how we are going to sell this, how you are going to provide your services or products to your customers. Customer relationship. From there, how you are going to engage with your customer, how you retain your customer, what are the activities you do to keep your customer relationships. customer relationship is you are maintaining a database, the email addresses. You may have the WhatsApp group, right? So that's the kind of customer relationship through the channel, through the WhatsApp group. WhatsApp is a channel. Customer relationship is you have the DB and continuous engagement with customers, getting their feedback after every session. After facilitating every workshop or session, you are getting customer feedback to a one database. Yeah. So likewise, you keep the customer relationship. Yes. So you can continue this, and also I will share the extended version. You asked me that question, can we have more than 9 blocks? Yeah. So like you engineers, they are thinking about going beyond that and make this business model canvas very powerful with the concept of sustainability, right? So the social and environment impact, right? Adding social and environment impact, because sustainability is no longer is an optional thing. It's an essential part of the business, right? For a startup, it is very useful if you apply the sustainability into a model at the very beginning. So the investors are very curious. They always invest for your future because of they make sure that you know the values, you know the foundation of the business, right? So this is a 13 block model, right? The 13 block model is, now already we have discussed the 9 model. 10th one is the problem. Now here, there we only consider the product, right? Now here with the 13 block model, we consider the problem, exactly what is the pain points that you are going to address, and the solution. What is the solution, right? The key matrices. So that is how long you are going to acquire one customer, customer acquisition rate, customer retention, right? And those are some of the matrices, right? Even if you're social media, there are a lot of matrices, right? How you can find out that you are successful in this business model, right? Yeah, the matrices you can make and define to make sure whether this business model is working properly, right? And customer lifetime, and customer the lifetime is that how long they will stay with you, right? Whether they will, if the new product services comes, how they switch to another company, another brand, right? So likewise, you have to, these are some advanced things, but you have to apply this. Then you are really clear about your business model. And unfair advantage, this is very important, right? Right? I tell you this, what's your good name? Ramilan, you have a very good idea. It's a kind of, this problem is, what are the pain points you are going to solve? I had a very discussion because while we are doing the activity, main point is going to solve is, he is also a vegan person. Vegan, right? So he has a problem whenever he go out, he has a limited selection for refreshments, right? So even there are some other customer base in Sri Lanka, even around the world, they're having some problem with vegan diet, right? Vegan food. So he has the problem he is going to solve is vegan, refreshing, something to have for as a drink, right? As a drink, it's a vegan drink, aloe aloe vera bubble tea, right? Aloe vera bubble tea. Bubble tea is a kind of a fancy, kind of very trending drink for refreshing, right? So especially in the Gen Zs, right? So he's also Gen Z. So addressing this, there are vegan Gen Zs. They definitely, the customer segment is vegan Gen Zs. They are about 5.2. From the 5.2 million, right? Gen Zs, you have to do a market research to find out how exactly the ratio of vegan, right? Out of 5.2 million Gen Zs, how much population is vegan, right? It's a very niche market, maybe very niche market, maybe 1%, 2%, 3% or 5%, never know. Just do a market research and see. Google, you have to do a market research. Some of the things are not available, so you have to do some specific cases. You have to do your own market research, right? So the problem is you are going to address this provider repression thing because of vegan. There are a lot of selection, right? You don't have much repressioning product. Solution is vegan aloe vera bubble tea made with coconut milk, right? So key matrices. So you can have your matrices, right? Based on your agencies, do the some market research, identify the key matrices which is useful for you. The unfair advantage, that is the most important thing. Unfair advantage is, Ramalin, there are many other vendors, manufacturers of bubble tea, even in Sri Lanka or maybe out of the country. They find that your product is very attractive. Once you launch your product, they will find this is also important, and we can also list it in our existing bubble tea menu, right? So what will happen? Whatever the niche market even you have, now it's disappeared. So you have it's a very competitive environment, right? So at the time you are providing the value propositions to your customer, at the same time you should provide unfair advantage to your competitor. Who are your competitors? Existing bubble restaurants, no? Other retail shops. No? So what you can do is you can do the research. You can do a lot of trials and see the best recipe for the bubble tea, and you can protect it with the IP rights. So then no one can take your recipe. So you are protected. So that's kind of unfair advantage you should provide to your competitor. Otherwise, your startup is not successful. So it's a kind of even for the tech industry or tech startup, right? Tech startup. So you should provide some algorithm, right, which is very innovative, so that you should protect with IP rights, right? And exclusive data access, that is your trade secrets. Will Coca-Cola reveal their recipe? No. Even though they are very open, right? Very open with all their marketing, all other strategies, but still the trade secret is there. That is their protection, right? So as you understand your startup, from the beginning you should find out what is unfair advantage you are going to provide. So these are the extended 13 blocks expansion for the business model canvas: problem, solution, key matrix, and unfair advantage. Very important, very important. So I will give this kind of example. Let's say that you will get a kind of a miracle happen in your life. There's an angel investor you may meet at the business conference, and happy about your personality and your work you are doing, and they have given some $10 million US dollars to start up a company. Compete with Amazon. You know Amazon? Compete. Now you are a competitor. The startup company is a competitor to Amazon. So So the investor asking you, okay, you now do the work. I give you enough funding. 10 million, $10 million, lot of money. You can do a lot of things, right? So you could build a website, buy the trucks, or you can get the customers attract by offering free shipping, no shipping charges. That's the, I'm telling this, if you are doing it, right? So this is the challenge, right? You have the enough capital, so now there's an existing market, there's a large competitor, how you can beat that market. So this is just an example. Amazon is a product. Amazon is a platform. Now I'm asking, the Amazon is a platform, right? So you are a startup founder, investor is providing you money to compete Amazon. So what would you do? Even though you were hard to do all the marketing strategies, all the things, buying the products, websites, having a good supply chain, and the trucks, even you will. Why? Because of the unfair advantage. Amazon has already built up the brand. They have brand power. And what is other thing? Network effect. They have large network of suppliers, clients, partners, and all. That's the unfair advantage they have built. And also their algorithm, their searching algorithm. They have IP rights that we do not have access, right? So that is what, even you try out with all the strategies, maybe we don't know, but it's very difficult to compete, right? That's the very difficult to copy, imitate. Yeah, I'm just getting Amazon as an example, right? Even I will take another example in Sri Lanka, right? Uber is the first kind of a platform, mobile app for providing cab service to the people, even though they don't own any cabs, right, around the world. Only they trusted the process, the platform, right? So now Sri Lanka, PickMe is there. And now there's another engineer Danica Pereira, is one of the engineering entrepreneur, having the Helago, right? What is the promise he gave? What's the value proposition he gave? Sadharana Gamanaka. He addressed the pain point. What is the pain point? Target audience, one of the target audience, right? What is the pain point? Because I spoke to few of the drivers, three-wheel drivers. They have almost installed 3 apps on their phones. PickMe, Uber, and Helago. And when I asked why you think of installing Helago, already you have 2 apps. But Helago having no promise, because they even pay us the extra miles that we are traveling to collect the customer. Right? If there's 2 kilometers away from the customer, they travel by their expenses from the other apps, Uber and PickMe. But in Helago, the company would pay for these 2 kilometers. That is why it is called Sadharana Gamaganakata. That's why people are like to have. Yeah. Because of the competition. And the other thing is that maybe Helago could do that because of Helago as a founder, that Danica having that platform, Helakuru, having Helakuru and Helapay, and all these as one of the app. He has already have the network effect. That's why he could leverage that, right? He could leverage that and give it, because already he has some established product in the market, people are already using it. So then they can easily introduce it to the another target audience. That's what he has taken that advantage, and also provide that, make sure to have the yeah. So that's kind of a example I can share, and there are many examples, right? There are many examples. Yeah, but it's a limited coverage. Still, they are growing. Very recently they have started, and it's still growing. So unfair advantage, I will explain a little bit more, right? So as an engineer, as a professional, as an engineering student, or maybe a founder, you should focus on this 13th block. That is the lifetime guarantee. Whether you are staying in the business, it's an unfair advantage. Right? Finding a moat. Moat means that your protection, right? So your proprietary data, community network effect, partnerships, right? And this is very important. Let's say I have a product, right? So let's say greeting cards. The people will copy the same greeting cards, same style, same porting, right? Same thing. So I don't have rights to say stop that. This is my business. Don't take in this. I don't have right? So the only way if I have right, if I have design patent. I have design patent, design right. So the specific design, I can say you can't copy this, right? Even the trademark. Once you build up the brand, right? If somebody suddenly came and they registered the brand, you have no right. I will tell you that if you watch the movie, The Founder, you will see how the two brothers unsuccessful in that scenario, right? Unsuccessful because of the copyrights issue. They have given the agreements to the first and third party, and the third party wins the court, and they wins all the rights to have their own. So because of you are not thinking about the unfair advantage. That's why I'm telling you, the very beginning, understand these concepts, right? If you have the right from the beginning, even if I do not having the right product, I did have very simple minimal viable product, but I applied my trademark in 2015. Yeah, it's kind of a right? IP. So Ogirl is kind of a IP trademark. It can be a product. It can be a company, right? It can be a product trademark like for a brand, or maybe a company logo, right? Trademark. Because if you do massive marketing, you take the faith of your clients, right? Suddenly someone take your color, same real life, right? Same thing, they say we are real life. People, how can we argue with them? So if they do the massive marketing on the TV, like a market penetration, so I have to take my step back, right? Now nobody can take that name IP right, because you have the protection, right? Likewise, you have your recipe, you have protect with the IP rights, you have your design, you have the IP rights, and there's an IP right workshop happening at the National Science Foundation on 18th and 25th. I must remember that. So if you are free, I have shared in the WhatsApp group, so you can go to that and learn from it. That's very important. IP rights to 18th and 25th. So patent application, how it is happening. So all these things they are free of charge. So you can learn it from there. Yeah, registered. Yes, there's a Google form. I have shared in the WhatsApp group. Yeah, and then maybe if you are designing a software, not only all the codes are impactful. There's a specific codes, algorithm, very unique. That is where you wanted to get the IP right. So the specific codes, right? Algorithm. So that's your right. Right? If you are successful in that, you can provide an unfair advantage for your competitor. Okay, for another 10 years you are safe, and then after you can renew. 10 years, by 10 years you can renew. Even if you wanted to put into another country, so you have to apply from there. Okay, let's say on Australia or maybe Canada, you have to apply, or Japan, you have to apply patent from a specific country where you are going to launch your product. Because otherwise, your identity and your loyalty will reduce, and you don't have unfair advantage for your competitors. Your competitors can easily copy your product and get the leverage. So then you will not successful in the business. So this is there are high level study you can do more. I will go through it very quickly. This is the layer 1. First layer is the IP right, as I explained so far. IP rights. First layer. Second layer is high switching cost. Let's say that you are having a new AC, right? Having a new AC system, right? And then if another computer comes, the people want to buy the new AC system, there is a hard to change the existing system and adopt the new product. So there's a switching cost, right? So then they will stay with you because of the switching cost is high, so they will stay with you. So that is kind of another way of protection. Network effect, right? Especially in the Uber, and the Uber having the worldwide network, anywhere, right? And Quickly having local. Hello, local. Even can they compete with Uber? No. Network effect is high, right? Network effect is high because Uber is worldwide solution. They have already established. So that is the unfair advantage you can provide. Exclusive partnership. Let's say, as a company, you can survive if you have a similar product came with a slightly different IP. Now you can't complain. That's why it's the layer 4. Layer 1 is the IP. Yeah. Now you say you have IP right. Another person in Netherlands, as a startup, they have the similar IP in their country. Slightly different, but similar effect. So how you can compete? There's a great competition, right? If you are targeting the Europe market, then there's a Netherlands IP startup founder, another Sri Lankan founder, having the similar kind of a slightly different with IP. So exclusive partnership. If you have if you have a business partnership for 10 years, agreed with some organization to supply with your production, your product or service, you are safe. You are safe. Because 10 years, you are safe, right? So that is the concept of you are having the protection, the moat. No, I got an example. I got an example because the human mind, right? The human mind, we can generate ideas. Similar things, maybe. Yeah. No. The scenario is different. You have to understand. The scenario is different, right? When the people have the similar ideas, they generate, they work in the similar way sometimes. So the one who getting the first the idea with the IP rights, with the algorithm, he will be safe. But when it's come to the global competition, global market, maybe the person in Sri Lanka having the same IP, the similar IP that's not valid in internationally in Sri Lanka, it's Sri Lanka. Maybe the same another person in Netherlands having the similar IP, similar to that solution. So they have a competition in the Europe market. Now both of them are competing at the Europe market. So that's the level 1 of competition, the IP patents. But here it's a very difficult situation. Both having the similarity. So how they can get out of this? So unless you have a strong partnership for 10 years business agreement, then you are safe. That's why I'm going to take with some other Europe company, right? Some other Europe companies, right? So that's why before you go and establish your business in Europe market, you have to have this agreement, right? When you are just leaving the country, going to Europe, and because of you are having the patent right, doesn't mean that you will go into success. You should have the proper understanding of the market. Who are the existing competitors? And you do very good IP search. If you go to the workshop, you will learn how to do the IP search and identify whether it is existing in other country. Right? That's very important. Eagle. This is the IP patent that I already told you. Trade secret, you can keep it. Algorithms, formulas, right? Branding, trademarks. These are the things I explained. This is the switching cost that I told you. If you are introducing another product, you should have some kind of a mindful thinking how the customer can switch to another competitor, right? So whether they can buy from another competitor, not queue. So you should have that forecasting. You should have some kind of mindful thinking, and there should, because of that, that's why some of the softwares, they have software inbuilt with the circuit. They can't change it. Because so they have the switching cost is very high. So then and also Salesforce, this kind of Apple ecosystem, these are very inbuilt in the software, right? Switching cost is very high, so nobody will come to the competition. Right? That's why they can long last with their business. So you have to think about these things. Network effect. So by resellers like Alibaba, kind of, it's a large retail and B2B platforms, right? So where you can buy some buyers to sellers. Even the Facebook, right? Meta, Google, there are a lot of network effect. There's a lot of people around. Exclusive partnership, as I explained. If you have a long-term kind of relationship with your suppliers, your buyers, your distributors, you cannot provide kind of a freedom for your competitor. You can provide the unfair advantage if you have this kind of strategic structural partnership, right? Then only you can make sure you are safe. Whatever happens, you are safe for another 10 years time. Depends. So this is the summary. So very important, unfair advantage. Because of most of the people are successful for next 5 years, but after that somebody came to the playground and get the market share. So you will fail, right? So that's why you need to do continuous innovation. Be alert. Who are coming to the market, right? And if you have continuous innovation, you can keep on growing in the market share, right? And sustainability. So, as person, engineer or undergraduate or founder, as I told you, sustainability is no longer, it's an optional thing, it's an essential thing. So you have to integrate sustainability, 3 parts: people, planet, profit, right? So both social and environment impact should be measured, should be integrated, should be thing. So what kind of things that you can integrate? Circular economy. These are the things that you can consider. Circular economy. The raw materials that we can recycle, right? Somewhere you can upcycle. Somewhere you can take it free, right? Somewhere, for example, there are garment industry. There's a lot of landfills because of the waste materials. So you can utilize those waste material as a raw material to your product. So that's the way you can utilize circular concepts, zero waste concept, right? Recycling concept. That's a green concept. So then you are making a circular economy integration. So anti-fragility. That is something that you have to think about at the revenue streams. Not only one stream, multiple revenue streams, right? So once you prepare the one product, what are the byproducts you can prepare from that? Huh? Whatever the waste, you can have some other more production. Maybe you have to think about how you can provide extra service to support your product, right? So likewise, think about some other revenue streams, diversifying revenue streams. So then only you can stay in the game, right? It's very competitive business environment. And so digital twins, that means that you can simulate. There are some standard and high level kind of simulation AI tools where you can manipulate and just find out whether your business model is still working, it's viable, right? Even if you do it manually, you can discuss with the like-minded people. That's why you have to engage with the master class like this and some networking of entrepreneurs, right, and startup founders, and some kind of workshops, right? Gather and have the brainstorming. Then you can actually do the manipulation. You can do some kind of do some test run and see whether it's right, and you can get some feedbacks, their experience. Then only you can really understand whether your business model is viable or not. So first 6 months you have to iterate. That means you have to repeat the model, see whether there are some other refinements needed, right? Not only one time, right? Maybe there are more than 100 times sometimes, right? For your thing, as said Ramali, you are just assuming whether I can have some product like coconut milk with aloe vera as a aloe vera bubble tea as a vegan refreshing product, right? So it's a kind of a hypothesis, like assumption at the beginning, right? You are just thinking. You have to do some more research, and then it comes to guesses to fact. After a few days, you will run your first research, whether try to make it at home, right? Whether the recipe is getting working for you, and then the right recipe, right formula. How much of coconut milk, how much of bubbles, what are the vegan ingredients, right? You can add. Only then you can diversify. Even the vegan aloe vera bubble tea with coconut milk, you can add some raspberry flavor, you can raspberry bubbles, you can have strawberry bubbles, you can have chocolate bubbles, right? Those are the diversified kind of things that you can change the product flavors, different kind of products. And also you can introduce something to eat with. Yeah. So that's kind of another revenue stream, right? So likewise, you do the continuous research as well as you do the improvement to your canvas, business model canvas. The beginning, it will be assumption based, but as by 6 months of time, you should at least try 1 time or 2 times with your product, right? At the minimal viable stage, maybe the prototype, right? So it's very important to turn your guesses to facts. The optimization stage is next 1.5 years time. You should optimize. You should optimize your business model canvas, and you can optimize it. And by that time, you should have the minimal viable product, right? Beta customers. You get the feedback from your customers and continuous research and make the innovation, right? And then anti-fragile strategy, that means that within the 2 years of time you need to do diversification, that not only one revenue stream, you should have several revenue stream, and by that time you should understand what are the other products that you can introduce, other services, right? And also you should have some patents, right? Some IP rights. That's your moat, right? You build your moat. So this is what you consider. Business model canvas is like something that you keep in your kind of a file every time when you are doing your startup activities, right? Until 2 years time. I actually from 2017 I started. 2020 I established my startup. I just did content. 2017 I started with this kind of workshops, boot camps. I did my research, start doing the business model canvas, and then established after 3 years, right? Getting my rights, IP, and everything. So likewise, you should follow the process, believe in the process, not your dreams, not your idea, right? Follow the process. So if it's not going to work, that means you have some problem with the model. Maybe your key resources is very expensive. Let's say that you need a high manufacturing plant. It's very expensive, but your revenue stream, when it comes to revenue stream, it's not going to work. Revenue stream is very low, but you are investing large amount of money for your manufacturing plant. So then the business model is not viable. For me, I had the same scenario. What I have done is I create co-producers. The people who are already invested the large manufacturing plants. So I have identified them and create some business partnership. Next week I have large bulk order happening in someone's factory because of the business partnership, co-producing facility, right? So then I don't want to own my own plant, manufacturing plant. We have a plant, we have a small manufacturing plant, but doesn't need to have the large investment. You can create key partnership, right? So it is a very expensive thing. You have to consider your revenue stream, and you have to change and refine your business model, remove that resource from that, key resources, right? You have to find the way how you do it. The key activity is one kind of thing. We have to find the business agreement with the key co-producers and sharing manufacturing plants. So likewise, the Airbnb, they do not own any property, no? But they are everywhere in the world. Airbnb, right? You can book a hotel, guest house, or maybe a community center, whatever the foreigners mostly book through their mobile phones. But the Airbnb is a community, the online platform. They have a network effect, powerful network effect, and the algorithm, that's their IP. They have a powerful moat. That's why they are success in business. Think about it. So to build such a company like Airbnb, you need billions of money to build everywhere with the resources. But a single platform can change everything. So that's the way of thinking as an entrepreneur, startup. So these are some of the resources. So this presentation, this video will be live and recorded in the Engineer to Entrepreneur YouTube channel. So if you feel anything to recall and do more study, you can have the recording and you can look into this. So this is very important. You do the continuous research and study. You have to invest time as an entrepreneur and the founder to yourself, right? So this is the kind of a quiz, AI quiz. If you have learned some of the key things that I'll share today, why important is, what is the difference between entrepreneur and the startup or founder and the business, and also pitching is important. To pitch the business idea, you should have a powerful business model. So business model canvas, I started with the 9-block business model canvas, and there we have extended 13-block business model canvas, and then we talk about the unfair advantage, right? That you should provide to your computer, and you should provide the value propositions to your customer, right? So these are the things we have discussed today at the master class. This is the AI quiz. You can scan the QR code, take a picture, you can scan the QR code and see whether you have captured the knowledge today within these 2.5 hours, right? So that's very important. So you can stay in touch with YouTube, Engineer to Entrepreneur, and our Facebook, Engineering Entrepreneurs, and our email is eeb2018isl@gmail.com. You can share whatever the questions, your feedback, suggestions to our forum. So we are here to support you and get your feedback and improve our services and our programs to the next level. So next masterclass will be go-to-market strategy by Upul Dasanayake. So he will give you the large area of how you can start from the beginning and extend it to the global market. He's a well-versed international consultant. So this is very important. Business model canvas. Even though you are given $10 million by an angel investor, you don't have a powerful business model canvas, you won't be able to success in this. You should have a proper plan. So even with a single dollar, you have a proper business model, you can leverage that key advantages and provide unfair advantage to existing competitors and build up a successful and sustainable startup and entrepreneurial venture. So I wish you best of luck. If there are any questions, feel free to ask after the session. For the people who are physically attend here, those who are online, you can send some of the questions to our email, so I can ask our team to support you, and also feedback where you need support with the questions. So thank you so much. Thank you for the both people who are online and physical. Thank you for your time. No need. This is for your self-assessment. Your business model canvas you should share with us to provide the certificate. Thank you.